Hey folks, Jessica here. We're in Granblue Fantasy today, and we're going to take a look at the summer stream. Dig is also joining us. He jumped in my lap the second I hit record. It's like he knows. But yeah, if you aren't familiar, a brief recap. The summer stream is one of usually two big streams they do during the year that gives you basically the roadmap of where Granblue is going for the next 6 months or so. So it's a kind of big deal. There's a lot of free stuff you get as well. But these streams usually announce some pretty major features like gameplay changes, new bosses, like they might hint at some new releases, that kind of thing. So yeah, I figured people want my reactions, so I just jump into it real quick. We're gonna be using the Reddit translation, uh, which I will link in the comments down the description down below. This one, this one. Uh, if there's any inaccuracies, I didn't translate it, so don't blame me. But also, first thing I mentioned, you do get free stuff. There are two new costumes, by the way. These aren't free; you have to buy them. It's for Frau and Lobelia, who I don't have either of them, but I just picked them up because I like getting all the skins, and you get a ticket. But yes, you do get free stuff, so check your boxes if you haven't logged in. You get the Awakening Orbs. These are to change your character's awakenings. I talked about this briefly in another video, but these aren't super important, but they are quite hard to get, so that's a thing. Sunlight Stone, great. Always love free Sunlight Stones. Silver Centrums. You get 2 intricacy rings, nice. A Damascus ingot. Not to be fussy, but I really wish they would give these as Damascus crystals. 10 Damascus crystals instead of the ingot. Because, you know, then you could, if you need the ingot, just convert them over. That's totally free. It takes like 10 seconds. But then you'd also be able to use the crystals for things like uncapping Eternals. I might be particularly annoyed by this because I actually need crystals to finish uncapping 2 of my Eternals. So yeah, but it's not. I'm not complaining. I am complaining, but I'm not complaining much because I do love getting free Damascus ingots. What they really need to do is just give you a way to convert the ingots into crystals, because like you only convert crystals into ingots. You can't go the other way, which is weird. Rainbow prisms, you need these. Blue sky crystals, you need these. Spell books are always nice for leveling. Moons, great. I may actually have 20 moons, and maybe we'll get a Damascus bar. I have to check. A Unite and Fight SSR ticket, guaranteed SSR ticket. We will pull that in a second. 300 soul berries, 20 full elixirs, 100 half elixirs. Is that everything? No, more stuff. 5,000 Arca points, 1,400 crystals, 14,000 crystals, sorry. 500,000 rupees, and 3,000 more crystals. Nice. A lot of free stuff. So let me just hit pick up all. And actually, I gotta check something. Am I near a spark? I must be getting near a spark. I'm halfway to Spark, but I've got a bunch of pull tickets, so we might be sparking relatively soon if something worthwhile comes up. And, oh, I need one more moon, and I got another damn bar. So yeah, you know, I love free stuff. If you haven't been playing a while, at least log on, get your free stuff. And yeah, let's do that ticket. Okay, let's sip on this cappuccino I made while we do this. This isn't actually a cappuccino, it's kind of a pseudo cappuccino. I whipped up some cream with a cream whipper, and I made a stronger coffee with an AeroPress, and it's kind of pseudo cappuccino. It tastes good. That's all that matters. It's a Guatemalan medium roast Solano blend from Souvenir Coffee. Someone holler at me if you're a coffee fan. But yeah, they did a weird thing with the SSRs that they just released. So they released these two, and the thing that's weird is it's not a gala right now. And here, look. It's only a 3% SSR rate at the moment. If you aren't familiar, galas happen at the beginning / end of the month, or the middle of the month. There's 2 a month, and that's usually when they release new characters. I cannot remember the last time they released characters outside of a gala. I can't remember if they've ever released new SSRs outside of a gala, so this is super weird. These two are rated up, but because it's not a gala, I don't think I would recommend rolling for them just because it's only a 3% SSR rate. And furthermore, if you look at the Sparkle pool, it's just these two. Like, what gives? Like, yeah, I'm not missing anything. It's literally just these two. So I wouldn't roll for these. Like, if you really, 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 really want them, they are rated up. So that's a thing. But honestly, I'm personally just gonna wait until the actual gala in about a week or so and see if they are rated up there as well. And then if they're not, that sucks, because that would, like, they would just not be in a gala. I don't know what the deal is. This is super strange. I know I'm making a big deal of it, but if you are familiar with Granblue, you've been playing the gacha, this is weird. Anyway, are they any good, I guess is a question. So are these characters any good? That's the big question. I think so. I looked at them briefly. Here, we'll talk about Tabitha first. So Tabitha, I'll preface this. If you are a new dark character, there's two things that you can do to try and compete. You can either be overwhelmingly damaging as an attacker, but that's a tough way to succeed as a dark character because you're up against like Six and Predator, and like Dark has so many really strong attackers that's hard to compete in that way. The other way you can succeed as a dark character is if you fill a niche that Dark is lacking in, and I think Tabitha might be more that category. Maybe. She seems like she's also a very good full auto character now that I look at her kit. So, some things I'm not full character spot, like, because I don't have her and I've been looking at her for about 2 minutes. Her charge attack activates her nuke. So that's good, right? And she's got 2 4-hit nukes. Multi-hit nukes are important right now for Dark because they literally just, as of like I think a day now ago, got a new weapon that's farmable that gives supplemental skill damage. Need to see the numbers just to see whether or not that thing's actually good, but supplemental skill damage is very powerful for multi-hit nukers. Look at my Kamhira, the character spotlight, or my Golden Knight Pride Descendant fight with Katura to see how that works. But yeah, multi-hit nukes are really good with supplemental skill damage weapons. She gets a dodge all on her 1, refills Hunter arrows. She actually, like, similar to her OG version, she uses the Hunter Arrow mechanic to gate a lot of her skills. She's got a stacking attack and defense down, which is nice. And then this also applies random debuffs. So, like, she has the hallmarks of a character that you might take in a hard fight. Just add Lance. Because she'd be really good stopping omens. She'd be, the stacking attack and defense is good. Boost to debuff success rate. Boost to skill specs and supplemental damage. Okay, that's nice. 4 arrows about to start. This part's interesting. At end of turn, when 1 or more Hunter arrows are granted, she'll activate her nuke. This is interesting because she gains Hunter arrows on using her 1. But her 1 also auto-activates on her charge attack. So she might be good for 1-turn kill setup, maybe a charge attack version, because she will auto-nuke on her charge attack, which in theory will give her Hunter arrows, which will further trigger another auto nuke. So she could potentially be pretty good there. I have to see what the numbers like, but she seems like she'll be all right for full auto at the very least. So yeah, she seems decent. Now, Salhamelina, on the other hand, I'm more inclined to say that she's very likely to be a high tier character for light. Her 1 gives a shield effect to light allies and a mirror image and armor, so defensive, that's nice. But I think the more interesting part of her kit is going to be the offensive stuff. So her 2 is a field effect, and it makes it so allies and foes can deal crit regardless of element, so lets you crit off element. That's potentially interesting. Because light and dark are neutral to all elements except for each other, so people do tend to either use light or dark for a team to farm everything. So being able to crit against everything is helpful. Attack boosted, defense lowered. Field effects go both ways. That's so like this is potentially risky in certain fights, but generally speaking, for a farming setup, you don't care. You're gonna explode the thing or have some way of mitigating its mechanics, or like you just don't care. You just overwhelm the boss before it's able to do anything to you. So that seems fine. But this one, her 3, boost the light allies crit rate, boost the damage cap, bonus light damage effect. Need to see what the numbers are in that. That is potentially really strong. Damage cap up's always good. Bonus chance of crit is great. And then an echo. I need to see what the numbers are. I don't know what the numbers are. That seems strong. And then what supplemental light allies crit damage. So additional damage for light crits. And light is a crit element. Light's meta grid at the moment is running things like Ivory Arc. Well, here, I'll show you. I'm not saying my light grid is actually super meta. Actually, I take it back. My light grid is approaching meta. I think the only thing that needs to be swapped out is like maybe something for another Ivory Arc. Maybe the Cag Staff? Or so, but yeah, light runs Ivory Arc for crit, and I'm running Playtime Solus? Playtime Solus. I'm gonna say that's how you say it. More crit, and then I'm also running, I believe Cag Staff also gives crit. So light is very much crit element at the moment. So yeah, Salhamelina seems like she lines very well with that. So yeah, both the characters seem good. It's just, it's not a rate up. So I don't roll for them if you really want them right now, I guess. I feel like I should clarify the statement. It is not a general rate up. It is a rate up for them. I did check this. It's not a general rate up in that it's only 3% SSR rate. So if you try to pull them right now, you're just going to get less SSRs overall. But it is a rate up for them. I did check this. You scroll all the way down. Yeah, so they are rated up at the moment. So yeah, if you really need them right now, I guess you could. But yeah, that all aside, let's use that SSR ticket and then get into the updates, because that's what this video is about. Let's go. These don't give you a spark, by the way, these tickets, so that's team it. Alright, sure, whatever. Is this weapon? No, this weapon's terrible. Yeah, those don't give you tickets, so there's no reason to really hold on to that. Those don't give you spark, rather, so there's no real reason to hold on for those. One more thing I didn't look at. What's their weapons do? Healing cap? Okay, whatever. What's this weapon do? Allies attack, enmity, bloodshed. Interesting. This weapon's potentially, if you... So Summer Zoe exists, right? So you don't really need an enmity enabler. But if you didn't have a Summer Zoe, this does slightly enable your enmity, so that's a thing to think about. It also has an attack boost, an enemy boost, and then another attack boost, so it's got quite a lot of attack off this thing. This thing's potentially good. Alright, let's talk about the summer stream, because that's what the video's been about. Okay, let's look at the stream summary. I'll try to remember to link this in the description down below. This is from the Granblue Fantasy Reddit, and it's a fan translation, so if there's any translation errors, I didn't translate it. But I do very much appreciate that people translate this thing so quickly, because this is up as soon as I got up in the morning. So they usually start with a bunch of statistics, which we'll read through briefly. The most recruited Eternal is Esser, Tien. Makes sense, she gets you an item drop rate buff. Most uncapped is 6. Most 6-starred is Quatra? That's an... What is the difference between most uncapped and most 6-starred? I'm a little curious what that means. 6 makes sense, because 6, I've mentioned this before, is, as of right now, the Eternal that gains the most from being taken to, like, say, 130. Like, 6 is already very strong in meta for Dark, but gets further stronger and meta is that a word? Meta as you transcend him. Quatra is an interesting choice, because last I checked, Quatra doesn't gain that much from being transcended. Granted, it's probably influenced by the fact that the Water Unite fight was the most recent one, besides the one that just happened, the Earth one. So that's interesting, though. Evoker recruitment stats, 20k players previously had all of them. Now 47k players have all of them. That's a big jump. I'm not too surprised. Evokers are still a pain in the ass to get. A lot of farming, a lot of Arcarum, but there's more avenues of getting the resources to get them now, so I'm not too surprised there's more people getting them. Most recruited is Kame. Makes sense. It's always going to be Alanon, Nier, or Kame. You could probably play Fire without Alanon. You'd probably play Dark without Nier. You're going to have a hard time with Earth without having Kame at some point, just because Highlander Earth is by far the best version of Earth, I would say, and Kame is really what enables that version that grid to work. So um yeah, that makes sense. EMP domains, I don't have much familiarity of that, so sure. Uh Frau near Lobelia, apparently Frownier and Lobelia are the ones that people have the most EMP domains unlocked for. Let's see. Most uncapped primal is Varuna. I was gonna say that's weird, but now that I think about it, it makes a little bit of sense. Sorry, Magna Water players, but of all the Magna slash Omega grids versus their primal counterpart, I would say there's the biggest delta between Leviathan and Varuna. The difference between Magna Water and Primal Water is significant. Primal Water is significantly better than Magna Water. Magna Water's in kind of rough shape, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I guess it doesn't surprise me. Also, the Water Unite fight was fairly recent, so that doesn't surprise me terribly much. Uh... Oh, this is interesting. Anniversary ticket top picks. I was kind of curious here. It's the top picks for the anniversary tickets are Christmas Narmaya, which I believe was my recommendation. Valentine's Drimnir, which also makes a lot of sense, and Summer Mimlimel. Yep, those are would be three of the ones I would recommend. I think I actually did spend mine on Christmas Narmaya, Holiday Narmaya. Did I? I think I picked the Holiday Narmaya. I don't remember now, but that makes sense. Uh, then Golden Ring tickets are going to be Narmaya, Holly Narmaya. Holly Narmaya is really good. Basically, this takeaway. Um, Vajra and Grand Narmaya. The Narmaya meta, Narmaya Blue Fantasy. Yeah, so the most ringed characters are Holly Narmaya, Vajra, and then Grand Narmaya. We just need like a Fire Narmaya and a Light Narmaya who are super meta, and then Narmaya's world domination will be complete. Let's see. Is that all the stuff? Some Granblue Fantasy Versus news if anybody cares. Actually, here's a thing I do super care about. Vera is finally going to be playable in Granblue Fantasy Versus. If you have been following the channel for any length of time, you will know that Vera is by far my favorite character in Granblue, and honestly, one of my favorite characters in media in general. She's the ultimate yandere lesbian. Like, I'm super, super pumped that she's finally gonna be playable. I guess a question I might ask is, why is it taken so long? Like, why wasn't she playable in the base roster? Or why isn't she playable in DLC Pack 1? Or, okay, why not? Then why not in DLC Pack 2? Why is it taking, like, more than a year after release of the game to finally get Vera as playable? Because, yeah, if you don't know, Vera has traditionally been one of, and for a long time, the most popular character they had in Granblue. Like, if you go back to all the popularity polls, she is routinely top three. For a long, 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 long time. She's also like the focus of like probably like the first 50, 60 chapters of the story. She recurs very often later in the story as well, is routinely in events. Here's a stat for you. There is 7 versions of Yura in the game, and she's the only character still that spans every single element. And she has like just a ton of skins. Like, why is it taking this long to get Vera's playable? I don't get it, but I'm super excited for it, and this may actually cause me to start playing Granblue Fantasy Versus again. Really pumped. Really, really pumped to see her. Some more stuff. There's going to be more swimsuit characters. We already talked about Tabitha and Salhamelina. There's also going to be Shalem and Shiva will also get swimsuit versions. These are going to be new characters, not costumes. I'm very curious what they do because, yeah, Swimsuit Shalem, well, and Swimsuit Shiva for that matter, are both they'll both be grand characters getting a swimsuit version, which is usually a recipe for a very powerful character. So yeah, if you want to see what they look like, there's Shalem. She still has the pacifier. The pacifier is so weird. There's Shiva. Do they ever explain the pacifier? I don't think they do. Her little cat's kind of cute though. Oh, she has cat ears. Interesting. But yeah, looking forward to them. They will likely be very strong. I would guess they're going to be in the next rate up banner in about a week or so. Very curious what they do. Along similar lines, there's going to be a new swimsuit. There's going to be a new summer summon, Summer Mandragora. Um, don't know what she does, so don't really have anything to say about her. Okay, some EX poses, summer EX poses for Siegfried, Chloe, and Diantha. That's what they look like. I already mentioned this at the top, but there are new skins for summer skins for Frau and Lobelia. I did pick both of them up, even though I don't have either of those characters. I tend to always buy the skins for every character when they come out because they cost the same thing as a 10 pull. So if you're going to buy 10 pulls, you might as well just buy the skins and save the ticket because then essentially you're getting a skin for air quotes free. What else is there? Nier and Alanon summer skins will be available in the store year round. Nice if you missed those the first time around. Hellas, OG Hellas, getting her 5-star in cap. That could potentially be pretty exciting. We'll have to see. It's always hard to predict how much of a difference a non-limited character going to 5-star is. It traditionally, for a few of them, has made them considerably more useful than they were. For a bunch of them, it didn't really shift them in the meta very much. For a few that were already top of the meta, it just further made them very strong. Like Athena, I think is a classic example of that. So it's going to be hard to say. We'll have to just look at what it does when it comes out. Yeah, I don't really want to speculate too much on Hellas because I have no idea what they're going to do to her. She is a very old character, could very much use kind of just a complete reworking of her kit at this stage. So if it's that, then potentially it could mean a lot for her. We'll see. They released the 6-star Eternal art for Neo and Esser, which is pretty dope. My head's in the way. Hold on. Yeah, if you oh, hang on, let me move the frame around. There you go. Everybody's got guns now. That's definitely fun from a gun. I think is the one everyone's talking about. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I don't think they release stats on what they do. I could be wrong on that. Put my camera back. But yeah, now all Eternals can be transcended, and more on that in a second. They announced some of the requirements for taking your Eternals to 140 and 150. I think a lot of us have been waiting for. So the 140 requirement's interesting and might actually be a point of frustration for some folks. Let me know if it is down below. I'm curious. But it's going to require materials, obviously. But it's also going to require that you have all of your Eternals at 5-star. So if you want to take Esser to 140, you need all of them 5-starred. As far as I can tell from what I'm reading here. But that is definitely how it's reading at the moment. I'm not terribly surprised, actually. I was kind of surprised they didn't add the all 5-star requirement earlier in the chain, but yes, now they are adding it. There's going to be a lot of people that already have all their Eternals 5-starred. Full disclosure, though, I haven't actually 5-star all of my Eternals. I actually have all the materials to do it. I just haven't gone around to it. The ones I don't have 5-starred are Uno and Siete. But I'll do it now since it's more of a priority now. I didn't really need to get them to 5-star, so I did. The only thing I'm missing actually are the Damascus crystals, so it'll take a little bit of time to get those. But like, yeah, I've got them, so this isn't a big deal for me. But why I'm mentioning it is, if you're starting out, or even if you're not starting out, even if you've been playing for like a year or two, you likely don't have more than half your you likely don't have many Eternals 5-starred, and depending on how early you are, you're gonna run into a big wall in terms of gold bricks to actually get your characters 5-starred, your Eternals 5-starred. So if you're somebody that really loves, say, Esser, and you're like, I really want to take Esser to 150, she's my favorite character. Well, now you got quite a long journey to get there because you've got to do all of them to 5-star before you can take her to full 150. So I've mentioned this before when I've talked about Transcendence for Eternals. Really, you should look at that as a very, very long-term aspirational goal and not something you want to rush because, yeah, for very veteran players, that 5-star requirement is not going to be a big deal. For newer players, it's going to take a while for you to get there, just to be perfectly honest. But again, like even leveling your Eternal from 100 to 150, it's gonna take a long, 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 long time. It's a lot of XP. Trust me, it's a lot of XP. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about too much. Granted, uh, we haven't seen what the stats of a 150 Eternal are. It might be very well the case at 140 they gain something big, 150 they gain something big. I'd be shocked if that wasn't the case for some of them. So like yeah, there might be people that legitimately do want to rush these guys to 150, these characters to 150, but they've got to get all these other guys to 5-star first. So yes, this might be a contentious issue for some folks. I'm curious that let me know down below if it is for you. And then as I predicted, the uncapped to 150 will require a new unique material. No idea what that's going to be from, but there'll be something new that you have to get. Likely, it's not going to be easy to get, would be my suspicion. This is interesting. This is very interesting. New levels for all classes. So this is Jita or Dran. But for Jita and Dran, the MCs, you can now take them to 30. If you are, they're super new. Right now, the level cap for Jita is 20 for all classes. Now you can take her to 30, and it's gonna get you a new skin. Okay, there'll be a recolored skin for the character at 10, a new support ability at 20, and an ability 1 upgrade at 30. Ability 1 for all the characters, all the MC classes, if you didn't know, can't be swapped out. So Jita, like a Spartan Jita's one's always gonna be Phalanx. You can't switch it out. So that thing getting upgrades is actually gonna be interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see. I suspect what that's gonna mean in some cases is I wouldn't be surprised if some of the classes like become suddenly relevant again based on this, but they didn't release any details or examples, so yeah, we'll have to see what that does. They said that they would increase the pace of the main story. I joked about this, but I took something like felt like nearly a year-long break, and when I came back, they hadn't advanced the story at all, which was kind of shocking to me. They did finally release new story chapters, which maybe we'll talk about briefly. So yes, I guess they have realized that that's an issue, so they're going to try and increase the pace of releasing that stuff. Arcarum sandbox update, new weapon uncap, and stuff. What and stuff? That's and stuff. Uh, okay. I don't have much to say about this because honestly, this translation isn't giving much to work with. Currently, is new weapon, uncap, and stuff. Quality life update, quick summon. Now you can summon summons with just one button instead of having confirm okay. That's actually really nice. Because honestly, if you've watched any of my OTK videos for United Fight, you know that people tend to obsess about the number of clicks they have to make per kill. So that's gonna be one less. Very nice. So this next one, to me, is actually the most significant one in that they are adding 2 extra summon slots. It's for sub auras only. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's basically going to mean you can run 2 more summons and get their sub aura effect. You won't be able to call them, but you will get their sub auras. This is huge for an endgame player. Like for a newer player, you might not even, you likely don't have many auras that have summons that have sub auras anyway. But for an endgame player, this is a legitimate issue, and this is going to be a huge increase in power level, but also quality of life. So yeah, you'll be able to take 2 more summons, you'll get their sub aura bonus, you won't be able to call them. And here, I'll give you an example to really show you what I'm talking about. For an endgame summon deck, I call my summons a summon deck. I don't know if anyone else does that. Very typical setup is you're going to have your main summon, so Primal or Magna, whichever. So in my case, Agni. And then you're going to run Agni for the aura. And then you're going to run probably your Arcarum summon, in this case the Sun, to get Amplify Fire allies damage against wind foes by 10%. You'll run whichever version is appropriate to your element. Then you'll likely also run, if you have them, your Archangel summon, so Michael in this case, 10% bonus to fire allies damage cap. And then you might run a Tress summon if you've got that. So Surtur in this case gives a boost to allies' fire attack based on their number of Hellfire Tress up to 35%, pretty big. And if you've got Belial, you're probably running Belial. You lose some HP, 30% hit to max HP, but you gain 30,000 extra supplemental damage per hit, which is quite significant. And then that's it. Now, these aren't all the good summons. There's many more summons that have good sub-auras that I would like to run, but I can't because I don't have room. The clear one is Willness, the 6 Dragon Advent one, which gets you up to 20% extra primal skill boost. I don't have Willness. If a Subtix comes around before United Fight, I'm definitely Subtixing Willness. But yeah, when I get him, I will have to, like, when I get him, I will have to swap him out for something. It's likely going to be Surtur. But Surtur's bonus is really good, so, you know, that don't super want to slot him out. Furthermore, if we just look at other summons, there's a bunch of other ones that have Zoe. Like, Zoe's another one. Amplify damage against foe by 5% against non-element foes. Like, this is significant. There's a whole bunch of summons. There's the HP summons, if you really want to run those. Like, where are they? Do they have one? Yeah, you. Bonus to fire allies HP. Like, there's a ton of sub-aura summons now, and a lot of them are very good. So, yeah, it is nice that you'll be able to benefit from that. But I haven't even talked about calls, because there's a ton of summons that have calls that are really good. And there's just no room for them. I mean, likely you would have, well, for the fights where you need them, you would drop something to take them, but then you'd lose the sub-aura bonus. But Chirin is the classic example, because Chirin's call is extraordinarily powerful. Honestly, Chirin's call trivializes a lot of fights. It's an instant skill cooldown reset for all your allies. You've seen me use this if you watch any of my, like, boss content videos, solo boss fight videos. There's all kinds. There's plenty of fights where Typhon's call is super important. This is drain all your foes' charge diamonds, 1% boost your charge bars. You get it, right? There's a ton of competition for those slots, and now we'll be able to bring more summons or bring more calls that we want. So that's actually quite a large power level increase for an endgame player. For new players, it's not going to matter as much. If you do have a a sub summon that you want to use, then this will benefit you, but this is more an endgame player thing, I would say. What else is there? Angel Halo Pro. This is going to be a nice quality of life update. You can spend 200 AP once a day to presumably gain a ton of Angel weapons, and then the NM version will guarantee to spawn. This is nice. Angel Halo, if you don't know, is super important to get XP fodder, vessels, and whatnot. Like, you gotta do it. You gotta do tons of it, especially if you're going first to Eternal Transcendence. You're gonna do so much Angel Halo. It's a huge slog. Yeah, it's a huge slog. So I think what this means is, if you want to take it slower, you can probably just do Angel Halo Pro once a day, and then over the course of like a year, that will give you a ton of vessels and like mats and stuff. You'll likely still have to grind a lot of Angel Halo if you're trying to go faster, or if you're trying to get an Eternal Transcended. But this will be nice because it's just gonna speed that part of it up a little bit more. Next thing to talk about, Super Ultimate Bahamut. That's a mouthful. Supposed to be the hardest raid in the game. Interesting. They'll upgrade Bahamut weapons and ultimate weapons. So, the Bahamut weapons, ultimate weapons, don't get used as much. Ultimate weapons in particular don't get used that much these days. The bonus is just not that strong, so this is going to be nice. And there's other places to get the cap up, which is traditionally one of the reasons why you would use one of those weapons. So I'm curious what they do to make those weapons relevant again. But I'm curious if they change how those weapons work, because one of the issues with those weapons is they're very restrictive for your team build. And this used to be more of a thing when they were more relevant, but you would do things like, I want to build a sword team so I can use my Ultima sword, because they were only benefit sword characters. We have drifted away from that because really these things aren't that relevant anymore. And I kind of feel like that's a good thing. I mean, it is, like, I don't like having to use subpar characters because their weapons match. So we'll see what they do with that. That's not a universal opinion. Some people do really like the idea of building like a sword team. Like, it's an interesting like team building challenge. For me, I just find it kind of obnoxious. I just want to use the characters that are good, regardless of what they're using. But yes, that's a thing now. You actually, if you watch my Kamhira spotlight, you saw me use an Ultimate Spear. So they're not completely irrelevant either, but yes, this will boost them up a little bit more. What else is there? Peru Resort thingy in development. I don't know what this is, and the picture is not particularly elucidating. If I had to guess, purely on that description, this could be something like, say, the base in Arknights, or the dormitories in Honkai Third Impact, or, well, the teapot dimension where you build a house and everything in Genshin Impact. Basically, an area that you build up that your characters live in, that you can go interact with them in, that you can customize, and that has some effect on the rest of the game. That would be my guess, but I'm not going off of a lot of information here. They recap the summer campaign. Oh, this one's interesting. So they're doing a collab, a BlazBlue Dark War collab. I have not played much BlazBlue. You get 3,000 crystals to all players on collab start. It says here that this collab is for BlazBlue Dark War, not for Granblue Fantasy. I assume that means that we're not getting anything besides the crystals in Granblue for this. It's just going to be Jita, or not Jita. Jita. Jita showing up in BlazBlue. And I actually love this art for Jita. Like, Jita's always drawn as super cute, but this Jita is drawn like she can kick your ass. Like, I love this version. It's kind of like grown up Jita in some ways. Like, Jita is grown up. It's just her art style makes it look like she's super young, but this looks like grown up Jita that's gonna fucking destroy you in combat. So like, I'm into it. Like, maybe I'll check out BlazBlue Dark War. They got me. The collab got me. There's another collab in October. They didn't say anything about what that would be about. There's a new CD coming out. It is going to be the Dragon Knights, if they are your jam. Grandfest is here. It's going to be streamed again because of everything going on in the world at the moment. Please be careful out there. Stay safe, folks. Please, hopefully I don't have to say this, wear a mask. It's a rough situation out there. Please don't exacerbate it. Please wear a mask. There is a Skyleap promo. If you don't already use Skyleap, Skyleap's a browser you install on your phone. It's pretty much exclusively for playing Granblue. It's really easy to use. Just if you want the bonuses from this, just do your dailies, like your hards and your omegas every day on Skyleap, and you'll eventually accrue enough points to get all the stuff. It's totally worth doing. It's pretty easy. I think that's it for the stream. Let's talk a little bit more though, because I want to talk about some of the new stuff that came out like last night, since they did do an update, and I'm sure people have questions, and I don't really want to do like a 5-minute video talking about them. So yeah, let's cover the other stuff as well. Okay, other new stuff, since this is going to be our best chance to talk about it. The story now goes to chapter 148. If you clear that, you will get a new outfit called Smart Elegance for Jita. Well, Jita and Ran. Jita's dress is gorgeous. I love this outfit. Like, I want a dress like... I should get a dress like this. This is a really cute dress. But yeah, in addition to the outfit, you will also be able to awaken your characters to Awakening 8. So, the mats aren't too bad. It's just some Omega 2 anima, an urn, Lindworm scales, and Genesis fragments. These should be pretty easy for everybody to get to this stage, and it gets you an extra 15% charge shock damage. Like, at this stage, you're getting quite a lot from your awakenings. By the way, if you're wondering why Narmaya's awakenings look different, you can now... I mentioned this at the start, but you can change awakening types if anyone missed this. This didn't get that much fanfare, but if you spend the materials, like here, hopefully this doesn't actually spend... Yeah, if you spend these materials, you can change the type. So there's an attack one, there's a multi-attack one, there's a defense one. This is what awakenings start as. If you switch from this to attack, you get more charge attack damage and attack. Defense gets you more defense and I believe HP. Multi-attack gets you more multi-attack. So you kind of tailor it to whatever you want. I prefer attack for most characters, obviously. If you go attack, you get a significant bonus. in that 6k attack and 25% charge attack damage is nothing to shake a stick at. The materials to actually change that, though, are pretty limited. But you did get some in the mail if you log on as of watching this, so there's that. There's a new raid out. It is the Dark Malice fight, Anima Animus Core. It's not that hard. I'll probably do a solo video on it at some point. I assume there's a trophy for doing it. I didn't actually check. But I think the part we can talk about, which people will be curious about, are the drops. So there's 2 weapons that come out of it. Faceless Isid Love. This is just like the other Malice weapons. The drop rate's kind of so it might take a bit to farm these. Also, it's gonna be really hard to join and farm this because the boss dies super fast right now. So I would just host it daily and do it that way. But it's gonna take a little bit if you want to max out these weapons, unless you're just really willing to just sit and try and join raids all day. So yeah, it's a fist weapon, and it gives shield to all allies and removes 1 debuff from allies to charge attack. It's essentially a garrison weapon, so big Earth garrison. Big Earth defense based on how low your HP is. This one's interesting. This is unique. Supplemental Earth allies damage based on how low HP is. So it's garrison kinda enmity. This is supplemental damage, not just raw like damage. So it's like supplemental enmity. It's weird. I don't know how the math works out on it, but potentially it's all right. As with most garrison weapons, it's primarily probably going to be used for harder fights. The other weapon, one I am super interested in, is Agonize. It's a bow for dark. I think it's a bow. Is that a bow? Yeah, it's a bow. It's got a 1 turn on charge attack. It's got a 1 turn cut to main character skill cooldowns. It's small dark attack and then supplemental dark allies skill damage. As I mentioned at the start, this is similar to, say, Iliar's Peak, which is supplemental wind allies skill damage. I don't know what the numbers are. I know that this adds a tremendous amount of damage to characters like Katura that have a multi-hit nuke. Similarly, we talked about 12 Vertex of the Passel for Kamhira. Very similar weapons, supplemental skill damage. So because of that, there's probably gonna be a build that runs one of these. I don't know about 2, because like 2 would mean you would not be running Highlander Dark, which is typically the one you do run for getting as much damage as possible. So yeah, I will try and farm one of these, and I'll get back to you on how much skill damage this adds. But yeah, if you're using this, you want to use characters that have multi-hit nukes. So this could potentially make skill damage dark like a major player again in the racing meta. But yeah, because skill damage dark was very good at one point. But yeah, this weapon potentially pretty exciting. So yeah, that's been the summer stream and my thoughts on it. I am super excited about the next few months of Granblue. Overall, I'm considerably more excited about this summer stream than I was about last year's, which I was really lukewarm on. Some of the stuff they're planning is a really big deal. Like, getting more summon slots is huge for endgame players. That will considerably they'll give us considerably more options and also boost the power level quite a bit, I would say. And then beyond that, being able to take Jita's class level to 30 and getting new skills or upgraded skills because of that is also really exciting. Could potentially shift up the meta quite a bit. We'll see how that goes. And then beyond that, super excited to play Vera in Granblue Fantasy Versus. Like I said, I'm going to go reinstall it after this. So yeah, all things said, pretty excited about the summer stream. Let me know what you think down below. What were your thoughts? Don't forget to collect your stuff from your mailbox. But yeah, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, you do all that YouTube stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!